Hey,
Hello.
welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Sean, I presume? Sean, right?
Sorry, Greg.
Just kidding.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, that was not what you needed on a Thursday morning.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you, Greg.
Likewise, nice to meet you.
I'm going to start calling you Sean now by just accident.
I might start calling myself that. It's just scrambling brains.
That's too funny. Happy Thursday, or maybe Friday.
Yeah, what is it? Thursday. I'm off tomorrow though, so it's like a Friday. You're right.
Okay.
How's your day so far?
It's actually been really good.
kidding, eh?
I started earlier this morning, and it was really busy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Last night's merry-goers
Yeah,
we're still
that's
sort of
right. Stranded.
finding the way home. Yes.
Nature is healing.
Yes. You have a nice and friendly start to a morning, though.
For sure.
It's nothing like 5 o'clock in the morning or.
Yeah, no, that's right. That would be a bit ambitious.
What do you do for work?
I'm an engineer.
I could totally tell. I couldn't tell. Can you imagine? I'm not sure if there's. Hold on. You're not even wearing the.
Yeah, the pinky ring.
The pinky. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I
there
do
is.
see it. Yeah. I don't even notice that.
No, who would exactly?
It's one of those things that has kind of like all engineers kind of do that, right? That
Yeah,
whole ring.
it's something to do, I guess. But I think in like, I'm not sure it's really necessary in 2021. Maybe.
Well, even sometimes the work that you guys do, I know some people don't wear rings for safety, right?
Yeah, that's right. My buddy just, maybe like last week, snagged it on a fence, climbing over a fence.
Oh
Had to get a bunch
no.
of stitches.
Oh man.
Yes, I know. It's a lesson for all of us.
Well, that's where these new silicone rings are
Yeah,
fantastic,
that's right. Hey.
Yeah, those are pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've wondered about that. But then I figured I just wouldn't wear it. But I don't know. Easy to say, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not doing anything overly dangerous with them.
What kind of engineering are you into?
Oil and gas.
Okay.
So
That's like.
everybody's miserable.
It's still that heavy sort of feeling right now, here.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a lot better, but it's
Yeah.
like everybody, it's a lot of uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainty.
But I can't complain.
And uncertainty is not easy to calibrate with.
No, that's right, exactly.
Yeah, no.
It's one of those things like you feel like you get used to it, but I don't know. I don't know if we do.
Well, how long have you been here in the city for?
I was born here.
Okay.
And then, so yeah, a while. It's interesting. It's one of those, like, seeing it all the way doesn't seem to change all that much, but I'm sure it has.
I'm thinking about the evolutions or cycles that you've probably seen the
Yeah.
city go through.
For sure.
And I've heard that this is one of the most significant ones.
Yeah, for sure.
And additionally, I guess even though the forecast isn't looking so great, I've heard from those who are from the east, for example, and they'll say something along the lines of Calgary or Alberta in general just has this sort of grit that continues to.
Yeah, I suppose it is built in. Hey? Just kind of used to the ups and downs.
Yeah.
There can't be ups without downs, no doubt.
True. That's kind of like life, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, exactly. You
Yeah.
wouldn't appreciate the good times if there was no bad.
Yeah, there's that. And
Maybe.
it's also noteworthy that the good times are more infrequent,
Yeah, that's right.
which is almost like realistic in a certain sense, isn't
Yeah,
it?
by
Like,
their nature, it should be, I guess.
Yeah.
It's something we need to come to terms with.
There's a lot more striving, it seems.
Yeah, that's
I think
right.
the different points that people strive or struggle or suffer, they're proportionate, I guess. Some have a greater amount.
Yeah.
Others, it's more
That's a
mitigated.
good point. Very wise.
Well, thank you.
It's like the lows correspond to the ups. Like there can be.
Kind of like that, yeah. Yeah. And then there's also this other element that seems so unfair, but it's just even that word privilege, for example.
Yeah, that's
Some
right.
people, even I come with privilege,
Yeah.
in a certain sense that some people will never have access to.
Totally.
And we like to think idealistically in this cultural context about the equality of all human beings. And while ideally it's a nice thought,
Yeah.
the dishing out of said
How do we do
equality
it?
is a little more hard to
Yeah, it's easy to talk
establish.
about it, but it's hard to.
To get there, right?
It's true.
I'm thinking about like those in the slums in India, for example,
Yeah.
who will never see the light of an opportunity to
No.
get out of their circumstance. let alone some of the homeless community here who are there for no fault of their own, for example,
absolutely.
and yet they're
The
castigated
hand you're
by
dealt.
right.
But
yeah.
then it's like, well, I worked hard, but there's just no. You can work as hard as you want. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
So
It's
it can
important to keep in mind for sure. We have to appreciate what we have.
true.
But
Yeah.
easier said than done. That's with everything.
I think for me the part that really helps is just at least keeping that frame of reference there, so that when I do have opportunity, the thing is, none of us can be saviors of the world.
That's right.
Like, we're just human beings, right? So it's not that we should fault ourselves for being in places of privilege, because that wasn't really,
That's not the
within our
point. I
yeah,
guess.
exactly.
That doesn't do anybody.
No, it doesn't really help anyone that way, does it?
No, but yeah, it's important to put things in perspective.
I think so.
If you're having a bad day or whatever,
Yeah.
it's probably not as bad as the vast majority of people's days. Best days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But also, like, knowing how to respond to that kind of guilt that says, why me, or like how.
yeah.
And I think it is okay to be able to acknowledge those elements where
Yeah.
we're saying, hey,
To at least address it
yeah,
within yourself.
yeah,
Face it, however.
helpful and
I
necessary.
think society's come a long ways in at least kind of, you can talk about it.
Yeah,
You have to face it.
yeah,
Uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
And then how do we bring that bearing to others who may not have
Yeah, that's right.
access there? Because this is a
And that's, I
very,
think, ultimately, what can I do in my own life? Like, maybe
Right.
I can't help everybody.
Yeah.
I can help somebody.
yeah, and what does that look like?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. I think this last year has put things in perspective, at least for everybody. I would hope. Things weren't so bad.
I'd be really intrigued, though, Greg, to find out who had a really good experience versus those who had a devastating experience. So there's
Yeah.
those who probably grew in some sense on a personal level,
Yeah.
and as they grew on a personal level, which is great, I'm also thinking about those who didn't have the means to go on
No.
that trajectory, right?
Totally. And that's,
So
yeah, as
it
much
went.
as we would complain here, maybe like really nothing to complain about.
Yeah, we have warm beds to sleep in still.
Yeah,
Roofs over our
exactly.
head.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I think it's the empathy piece that really
Yeah, that's right.
speaks greatest to me, right? The empathy piece.
And
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I always like, oh, of course I have empathy, but then there's times when I really think about it, and I don't know if I did.
Yeah.
It's easy to think at the surface, you're like, oh, of course, like, I feel for these people or whatever, but it's like, well, what does that do for anybody? And like, did you really, like, when you're still complaining about whatever in my day-to-day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. We all have to explore our own
Speed
brains.
and red light camera in 300 meters.
Which can be an uncomfortable thing if you don't have a guide to kind of help
No, that's
facilitate.
right.
And red light camera in 200 meters.
Yeah, the
Speed
Pandora's
limit
box.
is
You
50
don't know what you're
kilometers per hour.
finding. You gotta look, I guess.
Well, the scary thing about looking for a lot of people would suggest is they may not like what they see there.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially if they don't know what they're going to do with what they find.
That's right.
If you don't.
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
Exactly.
I'm not going to like what I'm going to find, and am I going to do anything about it?
Yeah.
Do I have the ability to do anything about it?
Right. And hence why I think community is really important.
Yeah, that's right.
Community.
Now more than ever.
A supportive kind of community that helps facilitate reflection and yeah.
Yeah, and it's tough now because, I mean, you go on Twitter or whatever, and then you think, well, nobody agrees with me. I don't have, what is my community? You know, people I thought agree with me don't agree with me. And it's-
Yeah.
There's
Great.
always a vocal and a bunch of crazies on both sides. But we never used to know
The
what
extremes.
crazies are.
Yeah, the extreme sides,
The
you mean, right?
extremes, exactly.
Instead of the moderation. And I find the moderation so it's really helpful by way of saying, how can we have balance that is understanding or intuitive to understand the nuances that are diverse?
Yeah,
That's the part I find really helpful, but yet still lacking sometimes.
for sure.
I want to ask you a question, Greg.
Sure.
Oh, that's a very painful one.
There's something wrong with that.
Yeah. Please feel free to say no if you don't feel comfortable with this. I'm loving this conversation. It's really, really insightful. When I'm not driving my Uber, I make a lot of videos online in relation to how human beings can connect a little bit better. Every once in a while I'll come across like a ride where I'm like, this conversation I'd love to feature for my followers, but I never do so. My followers know without consent, which is
Right.
really important.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable if I were to ask for permission to share our video together, the conversation? And again, please feel free to say no.
I
want
don't.
you
I
to-
mean, I guess I don't have a problem with it. I guess
Yeah.
depending. Like I don't think you do, but the things can be taken out of context.
True enough. True enough.
Which I don't have a problem. I guess.
Okay.
Kind of barring.
yeah.
I mean, you're not.
I'm not gonna
I don't
like
think
show
that's
you
your
enough.
intention.
No, it's not my intention, and that's again the risk that I totally want you to account for. That
Totally.
I'm happy to give you my card and so on like that, even if you say no, so you can see what kind of things I do online, and I'm
Great.
so happy for
I'd
that.
be interested to see it. No, I
Okay.
don't have a problem.
Do you feel comfortable signing a consent form?
Yeah.
It's just like my legal way of saying, hey, do I have permission?
That's right.
Everyone knows, like it's
It's
just
like in school when they're gonna take my picture.
kind of like that. Yeah. Have a quick read through that there. It's just a video consent form of sorts. But again, my intention, like, if I can say it clearly, is just modeling how this kind of connection could happen a lot more, because I think it's really
That's right.
inaccessible for so many.
Like, organically.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are really hungry for that kind of.
Yeah, now more than ever. For sure.
So they usually watch for inspiration by way of saying, I would like to take some elements of what I'm watching you do, and so that's what I really enjoy doing.
Okay, so I sign at the top.
You just put your name at the top, and then the signature comes at the bottom.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just saw parent signature. I didn't see.
You're a wee bit beyond that stage. I appreciate you being